Welcome back to the show, my friends. I'm your host, Erick. If you've had an uncomfortable experience and you'd like to have it shared here on the show, please get a hold of me at contact.uncomfortable@gmail.com. The world wants to hear your cryptid and UFO experiences. So please reach out to me and let's get yours on the next episode of Uncomfortable. If you haven't yet, make sure to like us on Facebook and Instagram, both at Uncomfortable Podcast 65. And once you get a chance to listen to an episode or two, please make sure to leave us a 5-star rating and review wherever you can. That alone is the one most important thing that you as the listener can do to help get this show out in front of more people. And with more people listening, that means more great experiences coming your way. If video is more your thing, then make sure you subscribe to Uncomfortable Podcast on YouTube, where you can get the video version of most shows. If that's where you listen to us, please make sure to click like and subscribe and hit that notification bell so you are notified with each new release. Take a minute and check out the Uncomfortable link tree. It's the single best place you can find anything and everything uncomfortable all in one spot. The link for that is down below in the show notes. I think I got a great show for you guys tonight. It's going to be a little bit different. No guest. This is just me. And I am going to postulate on some things. I had fun writing this episode. A lot of heavy, deep thought went into putting these thoughts together. So hopefully it resonates with you. And if you're ready, let's get into it. You know, this whole disclosure thing has had me aliens on the brain, UFOs on the brain, UAPs, USOs, interdimensional, ultradimensional, all this stuff has been on my mind a lot lately. And it cracks me up because when you hear them talk, all of them, how many times have you heard, well, when they land on the White House lawn, we'll know for sure? Why are we so convinced that they're going to land on the White House lawn? Why are we so convinced that contact will be made through government agency or military? That made me start thinking. And that's where I came up with the idea for this episode. First contact. Undeniable first contact. What if it wasn't just little drops in the bucket? Imagine waking up one morning to news reports from around the globe, individuals from every walk of life, sharing consistent accounts of direct contact with non-human intelligent biological entities. These beings aren't just appearing to government or military or small groups of secluded individuals, but they're making themselves known to everyday people in a manner that is undeniable and widespread. Such an event would be unprecedented, challenging the very foundations of our understanding of existence. In this episode, I'm going to explore the profound implications of such a revelation, considering perspectives that range from extraterrestrial to the divine. I'll try to delve into how This knowledge could reshape our society's beliefs and ultimately the suggestion that maybe, just maybe, these entities may have been interacting with humanity all along. Before we can understand the impact of first contact, we need to ask who or what are these beings? Inevitably, there would be a mad rush to pore over decades of reports, sightings, and personal accounts before any hypothesis would emerge. These are some of the most likely usual suspects. Extraterrestrial beings. Many encounters are described in terms that strongly suggest an origin from beyond Earth. Witnesses often speak of advanced craft with capabilities that defy our current technology, and the beings themselves are frequently portrayed as physically distinct, yet sometimes surprisingly humanoid. If this is the case, and the visitors hail from a distant star system, arriving with purposes that could range from scientific research to resourcing or spending the day at the zoo, some will claim that their visits are benign. Many will suggest that these beings have hidden agendas. Then there's the interdimensional visitor. Numerous researchers and experiencers lean toward an interdimensional explanation, entertaining this idea the phenomenon we call UFOs or alien encounters aren't the result of long-distance space travelers, but rather the manifestations of entities from parallel dimensions. These beings might exist in realms that overlap or sit directly beside or on top of our own reality. Pioneers of this theory like J. Allen Hynek and Jacques Vallée suggest that these visitors' interactions are sporadic and cryptic, and that they may navigate between dimensions, making their appearance in our reality both as familiar and otherworldly. Now, after writing that line, it struck me. It became very apparent to me that this sounds extremely familiar and very similar to many of the reports that came forward during the drone flap just a few months ago. Then there's the future humans. An even more intriguing possibility is that these visitors could be us from the future. This would argue that the advanced technology could eventually allow for time travel, or the very least, the manipulation of time. Some encounters, particularly those who seem to hint at a deep interest in human evolution or genetics, just might raise the question, could our descendants be reaching back through time to study us, or guide us, or save us? And if this is true, it would force us to contemplate a future where our descendants have evolved in ways that we might barely imagine or understand. Are they us from 100 years in the future? 1,000 years in the future? 500,000 years in the future? Or are they divine or spiritual emissaries? Throughout human history, many cultures have documented encounters with what they interpret as angels or gods, or other supernatural messengers. In the modern context, some theorists could propose that these beings could be divine emissaries or spiritual guides. For those raised in traditions like Catholicism or conventional Christianity, this raises profound theological questions. Are these encounters simply modern manifestations of age-old spiritual experiences, or do they represent a radical new chapter in humanity's spiritual evolution? One where the divine interacts with us in a way that defies previous dogma. Undoubtedly, there'd have to be a huge shift in our understanding. The sudden global acknowledgement of non-human intelligent entities would most likely trigger a seismic shift in human consciousness. For centuries, we've pondered the existence of whether or not we were alone in the universe, with discussions dating back to the medieval times. However, these were often abstract contemplations, lacking concrete evidence or even wisdom enough to theorize. Direct contact would transform these early musings into reality, forcing us to evaluate our place in the cosmos. The religious implications. Religion has been a cornerstone of human culture, offering explanations for the unknown and providing spiritual or moral guidance to the masses for millennia. The introduction of non-human entities would undoubtedly radically change traditional religious narratives. Having grown up Catholic, I'm not aware that the Catholic doctrine explicitly addresses the existence of extraterrestrial life, nor do I know of any of the other world's religions that do. The discovery of such beings would prompt theologians to revisit and possibly reinterpret many aspects of faith, such as the uniqueness of human beings in creation and the universality of Christ's message to man. Almost all religious doctrines are based on human-centric creation stories. The existence of other intelligent beings might prompt theologians to revisit and possibly reinterpret these texts. For instance, references to angels or divine messengers in various scriptures could be viewed through a different lens, possibly suggesting that past encounters with these entities were recorded in a religious context. Believers may begin to seek references to extraterrestrial life within the Bible, re-examining passages that describe encounters with angels or other worldly beings. This could lead to new interpretations that incorporate the existence of non-human intelligences. Some belief systems might integrate these beings into their existing framework, viewing them as a part of the divine plan. This could lead to a more inclusive spirituality that acknowledges a broader spectrum of intelligent life. The Catholic Church, for instance, has had a history of engaging with scientific discovery, which I think science and religion can get along if they would just get over themselves. The undeniable recognition of extraterrestrial life would likely continue this tradition, fostering dialogue between faith and science to integrate a new knowledge into existence of spiritual frameworks. Conversely, certain groups would undoubtedly experience a crisis of faith, struggling to reconcile their beliefs with their new reality. This could lead to schisms within religious communities or the emergence of radical new sects that might incorporate the existence of these entities into their doctrine. And what about the governmental implications? The appearance of non-human entities to the general populace, bypassing governmental disclosure, would pose a significant challenge to the existing power structures. Governments derive their legitimacy from the necessity to manage information and protect their citizens. Modern governments are built on systems of control of information, security, and ultimately the narrative. If extraterrestrial beings were to engage directly with the public, it would undermine governmental control over such crucial information, leading to a loss of public trust in authority, and ultimately, their control. Undoubtedly, nations would need to develop new policies addressing interspecies communication, potential security concerns, and even whether these entities would have rights within each of our nations. Almost immediately, international cooperation would become imperative to avoid global disruptions. Sound familiar? It should. Look up Ronald Reagan's 1987 speech to the UN about the alien threat. My guess is most modern governments lack the established protocols for direct public contact with non-human entities. The absence of pre-existing policies would undoubtedly result in confusion and panic and inconsistent responses, further diminishing governmental credibility. Historical secrecy surrounding the phenomenon would come under intense scrutiny. Governments would be compelled to release previously classified information, leading to potential revelations about past interactions with these beings and further eroding the public's trust in them. The government's inability to mediate or monitor interactions between citizens and the visitors undoubtedly would cause panics within the elites. And what about the military implications? The military establishments throughout the world's nations would face unprecedented changes in the wake of such contact. Maintaining social order would be a daunting and monumental challenge. Being faced with the presence of a technologically advanced entity would necessitate a reassessment of defense strategies. Traditional military capabilities could be rendered obsolete, prompting the need to shift towards a more diplomatic and cooperative or even compliant approach to the newcomers. There would be debates over the development of new weapons or technologies, either to defend against potential threats or to match the capabilities of the entities. This could lead to an arms race with unknown and potentially catastrophic consequences. However, nations might also find new alliances based on their stance towards these new visitors. Historic rivalries could be eliminated or at least diminished depending on how different countries choose to engage with the newcomers. Without a doubt, this would challenge what we know of human evolution. The knowledge of non-human intelligent entities would prompt profound questioning of the human origin and our development. Scientific investigation may explore potential genetic connections between humans and these beings. Discoveries of a shared DNA sequence would suggest past interactions or even interventions in human evolution. Does that sound familiar? Ancient myths and legends often speak of gods or other worldly beings imparting knowledge to humanity. These stories might be reinterpreted as historical accounts of previous contact, indicating that these entities have influenced human progress over millennia. Humanity would grapple with the questions about what it means to be human. Are we unique or just one of many intelligent species? This could lead to a humbling of our species, the almost total erosion of religious faith, and or a complete reevaluation of our role within this cosmos. And what about the historical implications? Throughout history, there have been numerous accounts and artifacts that some interpret as evidence of past interactions with non-human entities. Proponents of this idea suggest that advanced beings visited Earth throughout antiquity, aiding in the construction of monumental structures like Pumapunku or Machu Picchu. While mainstream archaeology attributes these achievements to human ingenuity, the presence of a non-human entity would reignite debates over this topic. Many religious artworks depict beings that resemble modern descriptions of extraterrestrials. For example, some medieval paintings show objects in the sky that resemble flying saucers. These could be re-examined as historical records of past encounters. Items like the Abydos helicopter, the Baghdad battery, the Nazca lines have puzzled researchers for years. With the new context of non-human entities, these artifacts might be reinterpreted as evidence of their influence or attempts by ancient humans to communicate with them. And what of the societal implications? The integration of knowledge about non-human entities would have far-reaching effects on various aspects of today's society. Access to advanced technologies, either through direct sharing or reverse engineering, could lead to rapid progress in fields like energy, medicine, transportation. This could improve quality of life, but also widen the societal gap between those who have access to the technology and those who don't. Industries could emerge centered around interspecies relations, such as translation services, cultural exchange programs, or tourism. Can you imagine? Tourism? Conversely, sectors like defense contracting might face obsolescence, leading to economic upheavals. Art, music, and literature could be enriched by new perspectives, leading to a renaissance in creativity. However, there might also be a cultural clash as humanity adjusts to the presence of the new beings with very different values and traditions. Undoubtedly, some segment of the population would create resistance or start a rebellion. It's also likely that a significant segment of the population would react in defiance or even rebellion. For many, the appearance of these beings could be seen as an existential threat to humankind. This could result in grassroots protests, ideological counter-movements, or even widespread mistrust fueled by conspiracy theories and fear of our own cultural disintegration. I would imagine the intensity of these reactions would depend on our perceived intent, the manner in which they made contact, and even the level of disruption that we experienced in everyday life because of it. While the prospects of such contact are intriguing, it still comes with some significant challenges. Exposure to new biological entities could introduce diseases which humans have no immunity to. Rigorous health protocols would be necessary to prevent additional pandemics and immunizations. Well, questions would arise regarding the rights of these entities, establishing recognized genders, their legal status, how to handle conflicts between them, since they're not us or from here. Should our laws or moralities apply to them? Issues of consent, autonomy, and integration would need careful consideration. Not all individuals or groups would welcome these entities. Prejudices, fear, and xenophobia would lead to discrimination, violence, or even wars on behalf of or with the visitors. The direct and undeniable contact between humanity and a non-human intelligence would be a transformative event, challenging our governmental structures, religious beliefs, societal norms, and spiritual awakenings. While such occurrence would present significant challenges, it offers an unprecedented opportunity for growth and understanding and unity. Whether this event ever happens remains uncertain. But contemplating this potential impact encourages us to reflect on our readiness and openness to the profound changes it would bring. The prospect of humanity's first widespread contact with a non-human intelligence has been the subject of extensive speculation and debate, drawing from reported sightings, encounters, abductions, and the overall tone of these experiences. If these newcomers are friendly, their arrival could usher in an era of unprecedented advancement. They might share knowledge that could help solve pressing global issues such as environmental degradation, curing of diseases, unlimited free energy, and collaborative efforts could lead to a renaissance in science, culture, spirituality, even art. However, even benevolent contact could challenge existing societal structures and belief systems, requiring careful integration to prevent our cultural disintegration. But if these entities harbor hostile intentions, humanity could face significant threats, like the possible exploitation of Earth's resources, the subjugation of humanity, or even our possible annihilation. Will they be extraterrestrial explorers, interdimensional time travelers, future iterations of ourself, or ambassadors of the divine? Evidence points to no definitive answer. Instead, it's just proving to be a phenomenon that is layered and complex, perhaps even a melding of multiple realities and origins. The fact that we can't get past this ambiguity is a powerful reminder that our understanding of reality is still in its infancy. Will worldwide undeniable contact with non-human intelligence ever occur? Based on the past couple of years' worth of news? It's compelling. What is clear is that humanity seems to be going through a rapid change, not only in our scientific understanding, our technological capabilities, but also in our spiritual awakening, all of them expanding in ways that challenge the old paradigms. Ultimately, we have no way of knowing how first contact will play out, but it will be shaped by our collective response and our willingness to embrace the unknown. One thing is clear: if and when the veil is lifted, humanity will be changed forever. Thank you for listening. I hope you've enjoyed tonight's show. And until next time, stay uncomfortable, my friends.